be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.
What's going on? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Pull up a seat. I hope you enjoyed the content. And before we get into this vlog, I want to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe, and go ahead and tap that bell while you're at it, so you're notified anytime I drop a brand new video, go live, or schedule a premiere. All right, y'all. So y'all see who is here with me today.
What's up, y'all?
This is Laura. If anybody doesn't know, your first time here, this is my partner Laura, and we are on here talking about our long distance relationship. We're talking about how to make a long distance relationship work, because we get that question a lot.
Yep, we do.
And this is our first long distance relationship too.
Yeah, so we're here to answer some questions. We'll give y'all some tips.
Give you some tips on it and just talk about our experience so far. For anybody that is new, we've been together for what, 3 months?
Officially, yeah.
3 months. 3 months. We dated for about 4 months. Been together 3 months, and she lives in the DMV area. I live in California. We are currently in California. She came to visit.
Yes, it never rains, for real.
It's nice
in
out
Southern
here.
California. Yes,
nice.
I don't want to go back.
I know. You don't have to go back. You stay.
I'm not gonna go back.
So we're just gonna, just talk about some tips, some things that we think work so far, you know. And I know some people out there are considering long distance dating or think that it's not worth it or whatever. So hopefully some of the things that we talk about can, give some of y'all
you to
be more open, yeah. Or if you are kind of teetering on, what to do, this might help you. All right, so yeah, we're talking about our experience so far. So what are some? Okay, so one of the first things that I could say is that, like, you may not know how long you're going to be separate from your person, but I think that that's not a reason enough not to pursue long distance. Like, we eventually will live together, but we have no idea when that's going to be.
Yeah, and I think especially with quarantine, the pandemic, everything that's going on in the world, we don't, like, things happen unexpectedly in this time, so you really don't know what can happen, especially if you're a long distance. Something may happen on your end where you have to deal with family stuff, or on my end, so you don't know, so you just have to keep that in mind. But still plan to be together. Like you said, we eventually will like to live. And
there are some people that are long distance that also, it's people that don't want to live, that are fine not living with their significant other ever.
Correct.
Even though, but you got to discuss that, don't be on the same page. So we do want to live together, and with her, I'm also open. I've been a California girl my whole life, but with her, I am open to trying something different. I'm open to living somewhere else. So that is one thing that we're open to. Like, we probably will experience a new city, new state together, which I think is dope, But again, I got to do that with the right person, because let me tell it, I wasn't going to never leave California, but for her, I will try. So,
and you, like Babe said, you have to realize that there are different types of relationships. So like you said, be open. Some people, like she said, never live with their significant other. It's just something that you have to discuss in the beginning of your relationship. How long are you comfortable with being apart? Are y'all on the same time schedule? If y'all not, if one person is like, I'm ready to move tomorrow, and the other person's like, well, I need to get some things in order. So you definitely need to have conversations,
asking all the right questions and being honest. And if it changes, you know what I'm saying? Because maybe you are somebody that's like, I could do a year, but then you realize, like, you know what, I can't really do a year. That's too much for me. But you got to be honest though. So that's I think that's one thing when it comes to dating long distance.
I think the next thing is definitely finances, because it can get expensive. Going back and forth to see each other. And I also feel like when you're together, when you finally do see each other, you spend more money, because it's kind of like a vacation for the both of you. Like, you're like, okay, we're together.
That's how you think. That she sees it differently than I do.
Yeah, because I feel like you're just so happy to be together that you're like, all right, we're eating, we drinking. Whereas I'm sure if you live in the same place as your significant other, y'all go out all the time. Y'all still, it's like, all right, we'll just stay in.
I look at it differently. I look at it like, I think it is important for you to have a budget potentially for dating long distance. But I feel like too is that what we spend in 5 days together, a couple might spend in 1 month together, right? If y'all live in the same city. That's what I think. So I don't think necessarily it's expensive. I mean, because
I'm saying it can be.
Oh, it can be, yeah.
Depending on what y'all do when y'all come together. You know what I mean?
But you can plan all that stuff out too. And if you're on a budget, you can still travel and see each other. Sometimes maybe a road trip. Like, for example, when we went to Vegas, that wasn't a thing. I don't even know. We went to Vegas because it was different things, like axe throwing and certain things were in Vegas for us to do activity-wise. But it worked out because I was able to drive instead of having to fly, and she flew in. So both of us didn't have to fly, But then, you know what I'm saying, you figure out what you're going to do once you get to your destination. And you can plan all that stuff out in advance, you know? And don't be afraid to, like, go get a Groupon, go to happy hour, do the things to cut corners financially. Yeah. So it can be expensive, or it can feel expensive, I should say. But it doesn't because have to you spend a lot of money when you guys see each other.
In a short period of time.
Right. But but we're not spending money. We don't see each other weekly, daily. So so you're not spending that money. So I think that is a financial thing is a part of it for sure. So another point about long distance dating is, like, don't allow the time to get in the way. So we have a 3-hour time difference between us.
Yes.
And it doesn't affect us, you know. I mean, I think that you initially obviously it's ideally for somebody to be on the same time as you. But we've kind of got into a schedule now, like a routine, I should say, a routine. Yeah, routine.
But it depends, you know, like, for example, we're 3 hours, so sometimes it'll be like she's up late, or, you know, and I'm going to bed because where I'm at is 3 in the morning now, you know. So it can potentially have an effect on your relationship, but you just have to, you know,
I think you get used to what works. So, for example, for us, I think we talk throughout the day. Sometimes we will talk, we go to sleep on the phone every night, so we talk every morning. We text throughout the day. And then I would say, like, around 6 or 7 my time, you're wrapping up your stuff at night. So around 9, 10 o'clock her time, we're on the phone really for the rest of the night, pretty much. So that's what works for us. You know what I'm saying? But I think also, you know, it's really important to, you know, how does the time difference affect you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be mad at her when she started getting sleepy because it's 12 o'clock where she is and it's only 9 where I am. So I think it's about being open. And if you realize your significant other is going to sleep around 11, 12 o'clock at night, and if you have a time difference, working it into your schedule so that you're available to talk to them or throughout the day or whatever. So I say don't let the time difference. And we only talking 3 hours. Sometimes it's a 6-hour difference, 8-hour, 12-hour, and you got to be able to work around that. So I'm grateful that we only working with 3 hours because it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. And I think you also have to know, like, what type of person is your partner, a morning person, a night person, because if they're already going to bed early, then that could potentially have an effect on your relationship. Like, in their own time zone, they go to bed early, no one's sitting up, or they're a very early riser. You know, if they're up at 5 a.m. taking their morning run or something, that's something I think would be important if y'all are long distance in their time.
And it also works because you're since you're a night owl. So
I'm a night owl. Unless I have to work, I'm up late.
Yeah. So if we get on the phone, like, what, 9, 10 your time, we be on the phone for hours every night anyway. So, you know, just be mindful of the time difference, but that still is not reason enough to, like, be like, nah, I'm cool on this relationship, especially if somebody can work, if y'all can work with each other on the time difference.
I mean, when you care about somebody, you love somebody, you make time for what you want to make time for, essentially, you know. So I feel like when you love someone, you're open, you're gonna make it work. You're gonna move around what you gotta move around.
I agree.
But that brings me to the other point, is that you also shouldn't have to completely feel like, you know, you got to alter your life, not hang out with your friends or have activities and do other things. I think with long distance, sometimes you just want to be, like, available, like, okay, I'm on the phone, like, I have our phone call, but it's still important to the both of us that we both still have our own, like,
and I don't think you should I think it, you know, I wouldn't make it a point to guilt her into staying home because I don't have anything going on and she's going out with her friends. I'm not gonna be like, what about me? You know, so definitely, like, not a lot, like, let your person still have the freedom and flexibility within their own personal life. You know what I'm saying? As you guys build a life together, that's what I think really, really helps for us. So I always know what's going on with her. She knows what's going on with me. And, like, usually when I make plans and stuff, I'll tell you as soon as I can, because, you know, we have our date nights and stuff too, you know, so we plan just everything accordingly. So.
And you have to trust the person as well, because you're not, you know, in the same city. So you may not even know, like, all the people or where they're hanging out, or because you don't live together. You don't live in the same city. So you have to definitely have that trust to be like, okay, like, you know, go out, hang out, have a good time. Hit me when you get back.
But that also just boils down to having trust. I think you should already, like, if you have trust issues, you shouldn't be dating anyway, in my opinion.
True.
I'm not judging nobody that feels like they have trust issues and want to date. I just feel like it's going to complicate any situation you get into. I think you have to have trust and get past your trust issues, but that especially applies to dating long distance because, again, with her being someone who's 3 hours ahead of me, I might be calling her at 12 o'clock my time because it's not that late. And sometimes I forget about our time difference sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
But she just might be asleep, and that's why she's not answering. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you definitely have to have that trust, establish it, if there's something that seems a little sketchy to you, communicate through those things just so that your significant other can tell you. Because again, you might think that, like, for example, you might be going to a bar, right?
Right.
You tell me the name of the, or you talk about the name of a bar. I think you going to somebody's house, but it's really a bar because I don't live in the area, so it's not familiar.
Right, you're not familiar.
Yeah, so now I think that you at this girl house, but it's not a girl's house, it's a bar. So that just boils down to communication. You know what I'm saying? Because if I lived in your neighborhood, I would know what you were talking about.
Right.
So communication is extremely important.
I mean, and the truth is, though, somebody could live up the block from you and still whatever, like, you know.
Somebody could live up the block.
Yeah, somebody could live up the block from you, you know, or you could live in the same city as your partner and still have issues. So, but I do think with long distance, you have to be more, you know, communicative.
You do.
Because, like you say, the person doesn't know what you're talking about. They may not even know, you know, so just keeping them in the loop kind of, I think, is important.
Yeah, it's important because, I mean, I feel like that I'm learning more about you as you share with me what you're doing with your friends, who they are. Like, I'm just getting a better feel for you as a person and the people in the company that you keep too. Because, like, I ain't never met these people before.
Right.
You know, so you don't know. You haven't met all of my friends. I haven't met all of your friends. Luckily enough, we have met some friends.
Yeah, we've met some. Friends, yeah.
Which I like. I like that we do get to see. We've seen some of the people that are important to us, you know. So this next thing I feel like is the most important thing. I think one of the most important things you could do in long distance is, I see the way you're looking at me, is to, I think, meet the person as soon as possible. Yeah. Meeting in person to see if you have physical chemistry is extremely important. I know COVID is going on. I know all of that. But if you can get a road trip, if you got to fly out of town and the person can drive up to where you are or whatever, that you should meet in person. I've heard a lot of horror stories of people dating somebody online for 3-4 years and whatever, not meeting, and then their chemistry is just not there when they meet.
And I also think you have to meet, you guys need to meet in several different, like, settings, right? Because you need to see, you might meet each other one time and then y'all are both like lit, or something happened and you're like, okay, but remember, y'all don't live in the same city, so you don't get to see them over and over again in multiple settings like a couple who live close together would.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. And I think it's important though, like I said, and physical chemistry, it's just not something you can force. And I think it's mandatory in a relationship, honestly. You know, like, our chemistry was instant when we met, and I'm grateful for that. Because I'll say this too. Let me ask you, do you think that okay, let's say, for example, a couple meets for the first time, right? And the physical chemistry is, okay. What if it was like that between us? Like, would you still want to be like, all right, let me see her another time, a couple more times to see if it's there?
Yeah, because I do feel like, I mean, we're adults. It's not like when you're in high school where you're like, oh, this person not fine, or they not my type. Like, yeah. There's so many other things to a partner that when you're an adult that you're, you know, and I do think, I believe, I don't know if you feel like that, but I think physical attraction can build. Now, I think that if you meet somebody and you're like, hell, there's some people you meet and you're like, hell no, like, this ain't gonna work. You know from the beginning. Yeah. But I do think that physical attraction can build, especially because for some people, certain things make you more attracted to someone physically, like their sense of humor or something that they may do, or you may even see them in a different light, right? Like, we may meet and then, like, we're super casual, but then we go out on a date night and I'm like, oh, it's different. Okay. Like, so you see somebody in different settings. I don't think you can really, again, you can meet someone for one time and be like, this ain't gonna work, but some people it's like, and then it builds slowly as they get to know more about each other. And
see, but we had chemistry out the gate. Yeah, you know, like, of course we had like the initial nerves and all that kind of stuff, but the chemistry, you could definitely feel it for sure. And we've been able, our chemistry always feels the same, which I'm grateful for, because look, y'all, I've had some forced chemistry in my life. Well, it wasn't even forced. It wasn't even there. It just was no chemistry. Yeah. You know, and you felt like that other things checked off. So I was in the relationship for the wrong reasons, you know, but that chemistry is extremely important. And I do agree with you that the chemistry can build, you know what I'm saying? That it's just like, I need to spend a little more time with you to kind of figure out this thing or whatever. So, but I do say meet the person as soon as possible though. I still believe that.
Get their vibe.
Because you still got to be in person to even start to get the feeling of where you stand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
And just seeing how, you know, physically how you guys, you know, because, I mean, and I'm not even talking about sex or anything like that. I'm just saying in general, you know, you want to make sure that all those areas, if you're going to be in a relationship with this person, all those areas connect with each other.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah. You got anything else, babe?
I would just say to be open-minded. I think a lot of times with dating, people are just so stuck on what they won't do, you know, how do you deal with, long distance, the person not being there? But you never know. Your person might be in another state, or some people in another country, So don't close yourself off to your zip code or your area.
And I want to say quick too, like, in long distance for a lot of people is like me living in Southern California, let's just say LA, versus somebody living in the Bay. That's long distance. But would not I be open to a road trip, having to drive to my person? I mean, well, now clearly I'm open to it, but I had one more thing too. Another point was that don't forget to figure out your communication style. I was gonna say that's really important. Let's say, for example, if you're a person that likes to talk on the phone, but you also like text messages throughout the day. You know what I'm saying?
That's important, even if you're not long distance.
That's true, but I'm just saying, like, but that's all we have is our communication. So I'm saying, if you're a person who needs FaceTime, if you're a person that needs Zoom calls or whatever, I think you have to be very clear, because you could be with somebody that is really a texter, and it's like, I prefer to text versus talk on the phone. But if you don't tell me what you need, now this isn't really going anywhere. We're not really giving it a chance, and it's because of a communication style issue.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even because, like, for example, FaceTime. Like, I'm not a big FaceTime person. I'm not a big FaceTime person, but I be looking crazy as hell. So it'd be like, all right, like, you're trying to get a little cute, and that's another thing too. You long distance, so you like, damn, I want to look cute, on camera. But if you're a texter, or you're not a phone person, you're not a a video person, you really do have to figure out, because it may not match up, and then you feel like you're not communicating well.
That's a style, because like for me, that was one thing too. I have talked to other people who lived in other states before Laura and I got together, and there's some people that are just like, look, I'm on the phone all day at work. I prefer not to text all day, but it's like, I mean, I prefer to text versus talking on the phone, and I can respect that, but it's hard for me. Is that going to kind of be a problem for me, who's someone who's a phone person?
The phone person.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's really important to understand your communication style, because maybe that is going to keep y'all from getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying?
And some people are dry through text. Like, depending on how y'all communicate, they're dry, so you won't even get a full thing of their, like, personality.
That's true.
Like, if you talk to them on the phone, you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
Or maybe in video, they're more expressive than they are on the phone. And you're like, oh, okay, now I'm seeing a different side of your personality that I didn't see before.
Right. And also, too, some people might say, I'm not a big phone person, but maybe the compromise is, okay, instead of us, talking on the phone 2 or 3 hours a night, let's talk at least an hour, before bed. Like, you being able to compromise on the fact that I'm not a big phone person, but I am trying to get to know you, So you're just making those compromises, but it still boils down to you understanding your needs and your communication style. That's extremely important, and just not being afraid to express that to whoever you're getting to know.
So know your communication style. Be open, be creative, still maintain your social life and your friends, your hobbies or whatever you do.
And if it's moving in the right direction, just don't be afraid to, like I said, have that conversation of, like, when are we going to live together? Do you want to live together? Do you feel like you need to be in the same city as your person? You know what I'm saying? Because some people, the answer is no, but figure that out. How long can you go? Like, what, I could probably do 2 or 3 years of us not living together. You know what I'm saying? I have some stuff I got to finish. You got stuff you got to finish where you are. And I could do about 2 or 3 years of this,
So just be open to traveling as well. If you have a flexible job or career, you can spend more time with each other, and you won't have so many constraints on, going to see someone, traveling out to see them.
So, because I think, like, in April, because I have the flexibility from what I do, I'm going to go see Laura, maybe with her for like 3 weeks. So we'll be together for 3 weeks, and that'll be nice to see her for an extended period of time, so that I don't have to, like, squeeze everything into like 3 or 4 days, which I love. So the flexibility is key for sure. I don't know. I hope this video wasn't all over the place. Did it feel like it?
No, I think we hit some good points.
Oh, okay. But anyway, I think you got anything else you want to say, babe?
I was going to say, like we said, be open, and also let us know if any of you are in long distance relationships, or if you have been in a long distance relationship, and what happened.
What worked, what didn't work, are you currently struggling? Are you on the fence about dating long distance? And I decided to date long distance because I was like, all the things that was going on before wasn't working out, so I'm like, let me try something different. And in that, I found my person pretty quickly. Like, I didn't date for an extended period of time, so I found Laura. She was the first person I dated, actually, so that was nice to kind of get that like over and done. We get to know somebody,
and we both literally had verbally said that we're open to whatever the universe has to bring. And I think once you open yourself up, you know, you never know what happens. That's when the blessings start coming in. So just be open.
Yeah, be open. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate you. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up.
Yes.
And I'll meet you in the comments. We'll meet you in the comments. We want to see what you have to say. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will be back. All right, and Laura will be back too, y'all.
Yes, I'll be back.
All right, y'all have a good day. Thank you so
right.
much for watching. Make the best of the day. Be good to yourself.
Be good to yourself.
I be beaming, I be booming.